Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about astrological compatibility between Gemini and Capricorn, and yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant for both signs. Now, looking at this, well, they are inconjunct by sign, so I say this is incompatible by sign. You have Gemini, which is a masculine sign, which suggests extroversion, and you have Capricorn as being a feminine sign, which of course is generally going to be about introversion. And you look at this combination. Well, the thing is, Gemini can be very lively and vivacious. They're whimsical. They really can be very lighthearted about things and don't always take things really that seriously. And Capricorn could really almost be the antithesis of this because they are very serious. Capricorns are they're about they take things with a lot of seriousness. They have very disciplined mentalities. They could be very single-minded as well. And Gemini can really they could be somewhat flighty or fickle. They don't have the stick-to-itiveness like a Capricorn does. And if this person, like say these people are in like a significant other type situation, this is like a romantic sexual situation, especially significant other where if they're actually married in their real or married or not, if they're living together, this could be a situation where you could have the difficulty as far as finances go, because you have Capricorn, which is it can be very disciplined and as far as money goes, and very prudent and very economical, while Gemini is not going to generally be quite as worried about the finances. They're about more spontaneous as far as money goes. They want to spend money often for their enjoyment and to make themselves happy, while Capricorn is just kind of saving away, being more future-minded and looking more toward like a retirement thing, for example. So though you're going to have some differences monetarily, the one thing what I look at as far as Capricorn, also Capricorn, it often has a very consistent type nature. They like to be it's like very much on doing the same thing very consistently. They like to plan and premeditate, while Gemini is more about being extemporaneous, and they like to kind of do things on the fly and on the spur of the moment. Gemini could be somewhat unpredictable. Capricorn could be very predictable. So you could have that disparity in difference in these people this way. And Gemini also can be very loquacious and very talkative, and they have a constant need for having strong mental stimulation. Well, the thing about it is Capricorn Capricorn can be smart and sometimes very smart, but the thing about it is they're not quite as talkative or loquacious. They're often the Capricorn are very business minded, and the intellect is often applied toward business and career like matters. Capricorns could be very good and adept at problem solving. Well, the one thing Gemini can be beneficial to Capricorn is helping Capricorn with if there's some issues that need to be solved, and whether it might be something, for example, maybe mechanical, or whether it's something in general in life, they could really help Capricorn immensely, because Gemini could be very quick-witted and has a very quick mentality. What's interesting is that in a natal or solar astrological chart, Gemini will often fall on the cusp of the 6th house for Capricorn. So it's really like Gemini seems like they could be advantageous really strongly in a work-related situation for Capricorn. What's interesting is that for Gemini, Capricorn, for Gemini for a natal or solar chart, Capricorn will often fall on the 8th house cusp of sex. So it really, despite that, I do see where they can be have some disparities as far as in the bedroom like situation, because Gemini can be very carefree and whimsical, and they really like to do things kind of on the fly, and they like variety, and I think it goes without saying that would apply and pertain to the bedroom as well. Well, Capricorn is really very, very serious, and they often like to be very consistent and have their general, as far as sexually, this very similar every time they have it, and they don't like it really. I don't see Capricorn as about deviating from what they generally like. So I think you have a possible negative here as well. But on the positive side with this combination, I think Capricorn could help give structure to Gemini's ideas and actually help them actually initiate and get them started. Gemini can often have a plethora of ideas, while Capricorn, being a cardinal sign, is often about enterprise and initiative. Gemini could be the thinker, where you have Capricorn could help maybe put the plans into action. And Capricorn, often being very astute in business-like matters, could perhaps help Gemini get the ideas out where they could actually profit strongly from them, especially if it's a business-related type of idea where they can go into business with it. So, anyway, people, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between the people with these energies, as this could indicate how these energies may integrate well and would be better compatibility perhaps, or maybe not, or would not be as good as otherwise indicated. Well, anyway, having you could have, like, say there's an inconjunct aspect between the energies with these people. Well, they're inconjunct by sign to begin with. So if they're inconjunct by sign, well, they're already, and then you have an inconjunct aspect. This really is kind of a double whammy. Inconjuncts can often be about adjustments. Now, let's say someone has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Gemini at 17 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Capricorn at 20 degrees. Well, that could be considered adverse or adversarial, and there may be some adjustments that need to be made in this particular relationship, whether it is platonic or sexual or romantic. And they're already, as I stated before, inconjunct by sign. So if you have the inconjunct by aspect, you could even indicate even more adjustments that may have to be made than otherwise indicated. Now, on the positive side, you can have an out-of-sign trine aspect take place, which could be positive and auspicious. Now, let's say, for example, someone has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Gemini at 2 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Capricorn at 28 degrees. Well, that could be positive and auspicious, and even though they're still inconjunct by sign, so you have to factor that into the equation, you might have a little bit better blending and a little bit more harmony, and these people may be able to adapt and adjust better to the disparities that may exist between these two people of these signs than otherwise indicated. Now, on the negative side, though, you can have an out-of-sign opposition aspect take place between these people with these energies. Now, let's say one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Gemini at 29 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Capricorn at 1 degree. Well, that could be considered adverse or adversarial, and you could really have strong opposition in viewpoints between these two people, and they're already inconjunct by sign, so this obviously would not be a good combination as far as these energies go. But of course, it's always important to look at the full synastry / compatibility chart between these people, because one aspect, one negative aspect, interplanetary aspect from one person to another it does not mean it's the end of the world, because there's so many other aspects, of course, to take into consideration in compatibility readings. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac sign compatibility between Gemini and Capricorn. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Gemini and Aquarius. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.